Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back. I I didn't bit my tongue, I swear. Welcome back to VenusBlood Frontier. So I just came back from the gym and ate some food. It's actually a bit later for me today compared to what time I usually start recording. Simply because I have been oversleeping quite a bit. Maybe by like an hour or something. Nothing like super bad or anything. It's mostly because I've been sleeping a tiny bit later than usual too. But yeah. Nothing much to say about my day other than the gym has been going very well. So, well, I'm still having difficulty trying to lower my weight, but it's not like I'm fat or anything, but I do want to try to lower my body fat percent. But yeah, that's more of a like me thing, not really a health thing. But let me actually do the last episode recap. On the last episode, we did a lot of gameplay. As far as story goes, we did beat up Turka, and I assume we're gonna be getting her H scene considering I stopped yesterday at that part. But yeah, just to like get you guys up to speed, Loki faced Turka by, you know, dealing with traps and whatnot, illusion magic, so that her like inheritor guys were what do you call it? Not really trapped, but what do you call it? They're like they're frightened by like the dark dragon's flame. I actually forgot if it was a dark dragon or not. I think it was a dark dragon. But yeah, because of that, she lost. Well, she didn't lose, but you know, Loki with his what is it? Plot armor turned into Vidrung? I think it's Vidrung. Basically, I assume that's like his other self or something like that. And now we are gonna get her H scene, most likely. Well, I'm thinking it's her H scene, and considering this is a Nuki game, it's most likely gonna be an H scene. So let's start off with that, shall we? A sectioned off area of the Sinmara near the hull featured a prison in which Turka was held. Her chained up body is set up right as she heard someone approach. There was one footstep. It was that of her captor, but Turka strived to be less angry than hopeful. If she could talk to him, it would at least move things forward. She didn't know anything as it stood, so it may give her some idea as to how to escape. Turka visualized the face of Loki Muspelheim. His meticulous plan brought about the fall of the land she protected. But somewhere inside him burned the forlorn soul of a man fighting against all odds to save his mother. No doubt he could be reasoned with. Turka put her faith in what little she glimpsed of his memories and encouraged herself. Eventually, the door creaked open to reveal the man she hoped for. How do you feel, Turka? But yeah, on the last episode, I got really into voicing like Loki. I feel like it's been a while since I voice act someone that's kinda evil. Though I assume you can actually make Loki into a goody two-shoes, but we'll see. Turka's body was painstakingly restricted. It was, of course, to prevent her escape, but it would realistically take more to restrain a goddess. If the divine power she lost in the last battle were to return, she could break out on her own. Loki had to do something about that in advance. Would he drain her divine power? Would he use another method to convince Turka to stay? Loki took some time to stoically observe Turka. I admit, it's not the greatest hospitality, but you'll have to put up with it for a while. I have a few questions for you. I'm the one asking the questions here. Loki grabbed Turka's jaw and set with scorn. His behavior deeply troubled Turka. She wasn't expecting the sudden violence. Her surprise seemed to irritate Loki. I'll get to the point. Are you familiar with this floating continent's treasure, the heart of Yggdrasil? Where is it? Can't tell me? Then what about the other goddesses? What do you know about their abilities? What can you tell me about their countries? Rather than respond, Turka went silent. But her defiance didn't do much to disappoint or annoy Loki. He pensively looked down at Turka and put his hand on her cheek. Your face. It so resembles my mother's. Huh. So mention of my mother makes you open your mouth. We seem to have a misunderstanding. Do you think this coincidental resemblance means I'll show you any compassion? Loki abruptly grabbed her breast. Turka couldn't help but enticingly yelp. It should be obvious. If you aren't going to talk, I'll make you talk physically. Damn you, Nuki gays! Think so? But I came to a realization. The only way for me to obtain all I seek is to abandon any mercy. I thought that was another obtain there. Loki gazed coldly at Turka. She saw how sincere he was and instinctively shuddered. This is no mere interrogation. I look to abandon all sympathy and rule by brute strength. And this will be my rite of passage. Simply making you talk could be achieved through other methods, I'm sure. Take your people captive. Use my mother's plight to garner pity. But there's no point in that. Not if I want to keep winning. Loki's body spawned fleshy, slimy tentacles. Patreon.com/Azaikyousuke. You guys know where this is coming from, of course. They made a sticky sound as they rose up and coiled around Turka. Turka's astonished eyes stared at Loki. Oh, sorry. I thought she was done there. She had to say my name first. These tentacles are born from my internal hell. I'm starting to grasp the finer points of how to neutralize divine power too. The businesslike response was certainly not what Turka wanted. Loki's ruthlessness could not be stopped, as Turka was forced to confront. Now, shall we begin, Turka? Goddess who shares my mother's face? Yeah, this is probably where I'm gonna be cutting it out for YouTube. Okay, that was actually an abrupt change in scene. So we're back for you guys on YouTube after the quite lengthy cutscene. You know, I feel like these cutscenes are nice, but because they're kind of different from Rance's cutscenes. You know, I'm talking about the H-scenes, of course, not like the actual story. Because it feels like Loki is actually trying to degrade the character, while usually when you're voice acting Rance, he just wants to have fun. So it always feels like there's no really like ill intention when voice acting Rance. So this is a totally different experience. I think this is probably one of the first games that I tried to voice act the H-scene too. I think I did so for Tokyo Necro, but most of what Tokyo Necro did was actually just vanilla stuff, you know, lovey-dovey stuff. So this is great. I'm getting into character quite a bit. North Yggdrasil, frigid nation of Glads. The snowy region was the location of a peaceful country, but even they were met with a disturbance. The guardian of Glads, winter goddess Regret, was in her army's camp when she received an urgent report from Edda. The messenger nodded with anguish. Regret cried out.
ちゃんが捕まった。私どうしたらエッタの魔族まで進行してきたら私
Why didn't they go all like full-on assault with us in the first place? Why did only Turka attack us? Well, I think everyone else were attacking at the same time. I assume anyway. But it feels like this girl is actually not attacking anyone. Regret didn't seem to hear the rest of what the messenger said. She held her head in her arms and panicked. But she eventually noticed the messenger's concern and, at least on the surface, regained her composure.
そうだ。私がしっかりしなくちゃいけないんだ。早く魔族を追い出してキリカお姉ちゃんを助けなくちゃ。いつもキリカお姉ちゃんが助けてくれたみたいに私だって。死者の役目大義でした。あなたはゆっくりと体を休めてください。私はグラーズの将兵と共にまずはこの国の魔族を撃ちます。しかる後に他の女神と呼応しエッタとキルカ姉様の奪還に赴きましょう。ええ、あなたに聖司の加護があらんこと。
After the messenger left, Regret melancholically, there we go, sighed. Her aide knew of her torment and looked at her with concern, but Regret strived to appear stoic. She couldn't let her anxiety be known to her people. Until the day she rescued her sister, she had to remain resolute. Don't worry, she's at least safe. But her feelings were in vain. The war only escalated from there. Okay, I guess they are being attacked. So that's why they didn't really, you know, help out Turka. Because this can't be us. The messenger said that we're actually trying to diplomatically take control of Edda. When the officer left, Regret's camp got busy. Yorm assaulted Regret's army not an hour later at daybreak. I guess Lolly Girl against other Lolly Girl. The war in Glatz would last a while yet. Oh, okay, so they're actually showing the events that's transpiring right now while Loki was, you know, degrading Turka. South Yggdrasil, military nation of Thrudheim. Yggdrasil's one great military power was under attack by one of the Dark Lord candidates, Fenrir the Suckwolf. But the situation couldn't even be called favorable as flattery. The days of endless and fierce battles bored her. Damn you, sucker wolf. I do feel like her boobs are too big. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer them medium size to small size. This is way too huge. The monster aide approached and whispered into Fenrir's ear. Fenrir looked shocked by what she heard, followed by a delighted smile. So what I'm taking from this is maybe in the gameplay segment, I might have two choices. Whether to attack the Glats first, or the people here in... What's the other place again? Let me take a look at the name. I wasn't actually paying attention to the name. Trudheim. What was the first one? Come on. What's your area's name, Regret? Frigid Nation of Glats. Okay, so Glats is the name of the nation. I thought it was the name of her army. Alright. Fenrir seemed more entertained than usual as she got ready for battle. It would be her first fight on the front line in some time. Later, Fenrir and her army clashed with Thor's Amazon squad. Thor's boobs are also pretty big. Definitely seems a lot better than freaking Fenrir's though. Like, look at those melons. Those are, I don't know, those are way too big. I think Thor's are probably about the limit that I would say is, you know, like a comfortable breast size. If that's even a thing. I'm not a girl, so I don't know.
そういうあんただってライバルに先を越されてこう焦っているんじゃないかい？
私はどちらかというとロキちゃんのせいでうずいた体の熱を冷ましたいだけなんだけど、ま、そんなことどっちでもいいわね。楽しませてもらうわよ、雷神さん。
すぐにそんな余裕なくしてやるさ。
The commanders butted heads and their armies collided. That day, the battle between goddess and demon ended in casualties on both sides, but it was ultimately a draw. I can't believe even in this CG, she has her arm up in, you know, up on her head, or whatever. It's like that sort of position. Central Yggdrasil, chief god's domain of Valhalla. Valhalla was the holy land ruled by Odin, the home of god beasts and valkyries in the center of the floating continent. It was the site of a showdown between the goddess's army and Hel, the eldest of the Dark Lord candidate sisters. In the middle of the goddess's camp, even Odin was prepared to do battle. Even though she was the leader of the gods, she was not omnipotent. Odin worried for Turka's safety, but had no way of knowing the truth of the matter, much to her frustration. But even so, this battlefield was small enough for her to see in its entirety. Odin's powers of clairvoyance gave her a clear look at the enemy commander's face.
ロキが女神の一人を下すとは何の賞賛もなく王位継承に名乗りを上げたわけではないということか。おかげで予定を早める必要が出てきた。もう少し絶対心の力を削っておきたかったのだね。
The commander's morale was high, and there would be no better time to fight. Confident that it was time to attack, Hel prepared to deliver the order to march by walking to the front of the formation. However,
心力が大きくなっている。この力は全軍退避！
行け、ぐんぐにるよ。我が敵を撃ち滅ぼすのじゃ。
it was as if another sun rose in the sky. There was so much light. The immense and overwhelming heat and divine energy disintegrated the demons. The massive force even horrified Hel.
オーディンの真相、ぐんぐにるか。
The most terrifying thing was, despite the extensive range of the divine gear, it did no harm to the surrounding terrain, only to Hel's troops. Hel's army got cold feet. Odin's army used their fear as a chance to move out all at once.
戦列を乱すな。奴の真相は連発できない。落ち着いて目の前の敵に当たればいい。
Hell gave precise orders, but now that the enemy was invigorated, they wouldn't so easily be stopped. A rapid series of casualty reports arrived.
ダメか。オーディン相手にここから巻き返すのは。
Hel calmly assessed the situation. It would be one thing if she could slay Odin, but at this point in the battle, failure was all but guaranteed. As such, Hel's best course of action was to minimize her losses and ensure her army's retreat. Her mind instantly switched gears so she could make it happen.
海なりの石よ。戦場に霧の帳を下ろせ。
When Hel unleashed her dark energy, the area was soon covered in a thick haze. Hel took advantage of the obscured battlefield by swiftly preparing to retreat.
ユグドラ神の心臓。オーディンなら確実にありかを知っていると思った。やはり一筋縄ではいかないか。
With Hel's retreat, the battle ended in victory for Odin. But when Odin was expecting the enemy's total destruction, she couldn't be entirely satisfied. West Yggdrasil, agricultural nation of folk. This golden and abundant land had another goddess who was worried about Turka.
ティルカさん、無事で。誰からも愛されていたあなたがいなくては、ユグドラ神は火が消えてしまったかもよ。私は信じています。またあなたと笑い合う日が来ることを。だからその日までどうか。
And in Edda,
やあロキ、まさか誰よりも早く女神を落とすとは。私も含めた兄弟は君の力を見誤っていたみたいだね。
so this guy is actually not even launching an attack against Freya. I guess this guy is waiting for an opportunity to backstab us. Ymir put on a friendly smile and talked about the war. Loki responded, but internally guessed as to what Ymir was scheming. Reconnaissance. Maybe he wants to get a look at Turka. Regardless, knowing Ymir, he won't make his intentions known if he can help it.
安心してくれたまえロキ。今回ここまで来たのは何も祝いの言葉を届けるためだけじゃないさ。
What then?
まあまあ、そんなに慌てないで。ほら、戦勝祝いだ。私が攻略中のフォルクで作っている酒でね。これがなかなかいけるんだ。
You never change, Ymir. You prefer human wine to ours?
ま、たまには人間の酒もいいものだよ。私たち魔族はこういうものづくりに関しては大雑把だしね。
What the hell is slipshod? What the hell is that word? That's the first time I saw that. Alright, I'll happily accept it, Ymir. When Loki accepted the gift, Ymir upliftingly smiled.
ところでイミル様、フォルクの攻略は順調ですか。
おやフェーナ、気になるのかい？
Fina interrupted. Is it Fana? That's actually the first time someone called her name, so... Huh. I'm just gonna keep calling her Fina, though. Got too used to it in the 3 episodes I did. But Ymir's friendly smile didn't fade. Fina was slightly bothered by his attitude, but nodded.
ぶしつけな質問、申し訳ありません。イミル様がご自身の軍と離れられて大丈夫なのか気になったものですから。
心配してくれてるようだね。フォルク攻略はまあ順調に進行中といったところかな。ロキほどじゃないけどね。
I don't think you were here to see the actual battle, Ymir. It was pretty tough. Folk is guarded by Freya, the goddess of agriculture, I believe. Is she strong?
個々の兵の能力はこちらが圧倒しているのだけどね。兵力の差に手を焼いているよ。
Ymir shrugged. Then, as if something occurred to him, he stared at Loki.
ところでロキ、物は相談なんだけどね。
What, Ymir? Was it finally time for the main topic? Not wanting his suspicion to be apparent, Loki casually stood on guard.
ロキはこれからどうするか決めているかい？
What makes you think I'm gonna say it, though? What do you mean, specifically?
私たちの最終目標はユグドラ神の心臓だけど、そのありかはまだ誰も知らない。そうだろ？
Ymir wants to trick me into saying whether I got the info from Turka yet, I assume. Ymir took Loki's silence as a yes and went on.
となると長期的に 女神の治める土地を侵略することでね。
I see. You want to know where I'm invading next, I take it. The countries in Yggdrasil, including Edda, number 5 in total. Now that Loki conquered Edda, he was at a crossroads. Of the 4 remaining countries, which would he invade? His choice would be of great importance to Ymir and the other succession candidates. If a third force entered the wars with the goddesses already being waged, it would inevitably create a disturbance. Ymir wants me to attack a country other than folk and let us destroy each other, maybe. Loki carefully looked at his cousin's face.
実はロキには私と一緒にホルクを攻略してほしくてね。
So that you can backstab me after you win? What? The unexpected response made Loki ask.
率直に言えば手を貸してほしいんだよ。フレイヤは手強い。ロキと協力体制を敷くのが最善だと思ってね。
I don't believe this for a second. So that's his game. Loki didn't know whether to take Ymir's request at face value. He quickly got his thoughts in order. Ymir's talk of struggles with Freya was likely true. And while the other candidates were busy fighting other goddesses, the only one available was Loki. Hel or Yorm would be one thing, but a request for help from Ymir wasn't especially strange. But if Ymir planned to use Loki and destroy both him and Freya when they were weakened, that wouldn't surprise him either. Loki didn't have the means to fully determine Ymir's plans with his current information. I'll think about it, but I can't promise anything.
ああ、ぜひ頼むよ。私としてはロキが来てくれれば心強いからね。
You know, I'm actually planning on taking that route if I had a choice. I actually want to destroy you along with Freya if I can. The sooner the better, Ymir. Even Loki's evasive answer didn't annoy or disappoint Ymir. He just smiled. But he's probably expecting that too.
じゃあ私はそろそろ戻るよ。戦勝祝いというより救援要請みたいになってしまって情けない限りだったけどね。
That's okay. It was nice to see you.
それは私もだよ。それじゃあまたね。ロキ、フレイな。
Goodbye, Ymir.
お気をつけて、イングさん。
ああ、そうそう。それと最後に一つ。フレイヤは実に熟れた体をした美しい女神だったよ。ロキならきっと気に入ってくれると思うな。
I actually think they're too big, Ymir, but thank you. I see. I'll keep that in mind.
それじゃあ今度こそ失礼するよ。
So he actually does want to tempt me. So he does want me to actually join him. But after that, it's gonna be a war of, war of wits. Because we're gonna try to backstab each other every step of the way. With that last comment, Ymir returned to his airship. He didn't bring up Turka. What is he thinking? I can never tell. Loki watched as Ymir left for folk and couldn't help but sigh. He was friendly compared to the other candidates, but it only meant he demanded that much more suspicion, Loki realized. My next destination will determine the course of this war. Fina. Can I talk to Turka?
かしこまりました。すぐにお呼びします。坊ちゃま、お顔が似ているからといって判断を鈍らせないでくださいましね。
So she probably still has her original form. I wonder when she's gonna get that, demonic form. I know. Go get her already. Fina bowed and left the bridge. Loki stood around and watched Ymir's airship fly off into the distance. E? What do you mean E? Damn, that was brutal. Thanks for, making it feel like I did jack shit on that on that first battle. And I guess there's actually no need to worry about the turn count at this point. I guess each chapter has its own turns. Wow. Now I feel shitty. I thought I was doing good, but I think E means I'm doing bad. Turka was summoned to Loki's room. Eventually, Fina returned with not only Turka, but also with Garm accompanying her, like erring on the side of caution. Her divine power had been stolen away, but a goddess was dangerous nevertheless. Yet Loki wanted to reaffirm that basic fact, so he called upon Turka. Good work, Fina. Garm, you may leave. Oh, sorry. Good work. Fina, Garm, you may leave.
しかし
It's fine, you two. Let me be alone with Turka. Fina and Garm reluctantly left. Letting her out of prison and removing her shackles for this confrontation was Loki's way of expressing his good faith. Turka's expression defied Loki's intentions in the sternness, however. Oh, in its... She still looked fairly upset about what happened before. Have you made up your mind?
あなたに手を貸せという話だったわね。
Yes.
あんなことをしておいて虫が良すぎると思わないの？
I don't think that's what I'm doing. The prompt response made Turka's face turn red. What happened in your cell is between you and me, but what happens next will determine the fate of not only Yggdrasil, but the entire world. Loki preemptively interrupted Turka's explosion of rage by saying more. With her chance to speak up lost, Turka glowered at Loki and waited for him to go on. If this continent-wide battle continues, what do you think will happen? We'll be stuck in a war where nobody is hurt more than the weak humans. The fate of humans give you power. The fate of humans gives you power, okay? So if they were wiped out, the effects would be immeasurable. You may even cease to exist. Ragnarok. Neither the goddesses nor the demons could decisively end the war until both sides were defeated. The worst possible conclusion. This has already happened once before. If you don't want history to repeat itself, we must swiftly end this conflict. And to do that, I need your power. Power that demons lack. The power of a goddess.
そしてあなたが勝者になるというわけね。
That's right. Loki didn't hesitate for a second before nodding. Turka looked disappointed.
あなたたち魔族が戦いを仕掛けておいて、ずいぶん勝手な言い草ね。
I acknowledge that, but I know you can see past your emotions, Turka. You can see the big picture.
確かに私は神たちとこの大地を守ると誓いを立てているわ。あなたに純血を奪われても復讐心に支配されたりはしない。でもユグドラシルを統一した後はどうするつもりなの？あなたが教えてくれたのよ。魔族の目当てはユグドラシルの心臓だって。あの秘宝を奪われたらユグドラシルはこの道。
The floating continent will fall? What Loki had the most trouble comprehending was the reason Dark Lord Surt wanted the heart of Yggdrasil. If Yggdrasil fell, the humans would once again be in danger of extinction. Not even his grandfather wanted that, as far as Loki knew. Just what was Surt thinking? But Loki wouldn't let this end with him handing over the heart of Yggdrasil. He wanted to know the truth. I don't even have a full grasp on what the heart of Yggdrasil is. Is it actually holding up this continent? Without the heart, would it plummet to the surface? And if that's the case, is there a way to avoid it? If there are any possible alternatives, I'll find one.
ロキ、あなたはユグドラシルの心臓の代わりを見つけるつもりなの？
Yes, if at all possible. I seek to obtain a lot, including this continent. I don't want it falling any more than you, I can assure you of that. But if worst comes to worst, you can try and stop me. At the very least, compared to sitting in chains in a cell, this should give you some more opportunities. Nothing Loki just said was a lie. He honestly revealed his thoughts in the hope that Turka would cooperate. She did look like his mother, and it did irritate him, but that was relatively unimportant. Loki was talking about priorities. What would be best for both of them? When Loki was done, he silently awaited her response.
あなたのエッダでも戦後復興の手腕については聞いているわ。いたずらに人間を虐げず、必要とあれば積極的に交わりだってする。確かにあなたは他の魔族とは違うみたい。
There were still some casualties though when we did battle, but I guess we did try to minimize it as much as possible. I only do what I feel is the best plan.
あなたならそう言うと思っていたわ。理論が動くあなただからこそ、人 々の意味なく非道な真似はしないと信じられる。
Turka, does that mean?
ニーベルングの誓いに背かぬ限りはあなたの要請に応える。これでいい？
What is her oath? And I guess breaking that oath is probably when she's gonna go get her dark form. To protect the human's home.
ええ、私はあなたのやり方をしっかりと見ているわ。そして道を外した時は容赦なく刃を向ける。それでよければ私の力を使いなさい、ロキ。
Understood. I'll keep that in mind. And a pleasure to work with you, Turka.
そうね。よろしく、ロキ。
Turka nodded, but she still looked tense. Loki decided to be content with that for the time being. Maybe she couldn't forgive him deep down, but she promised to fight alongside him. That was enough. For now, at least. Turka probably wasn't one to break a promise, so they didn't have to trust each other in order to cooperate. That's good enough for now, I suppose. Loki thought about how he'd eventually get her under his control as he contently sighed. Then why don't we get down to business and have a strategy meeting? I actually need to decide who to invade next, and I want your opinion.
私の？でもいきなり混じっていいのかしら？
Of course not. You're part of my army now. I'm not giving you any special attention, only treating you as I would Fina or Garm.
それは構わないけど、てっきり女神の力を無限にされて戦場の矢面に立たされるだけだと思っていたわ。
I'll be working you to the bone, that much is true, but I think your knowledge and tactical talents are worth using. If you think of anything, feel free to tell me.
わかったわ。やっぱり変わってるのね、ロキ。
Am I?
どうせあなたがそれが最善だからと答えるんだろうけど、だけどね、誰もがそうできるわけじゃないのね。
I think Loki is just trying to use everything in his disposal, though. Unlike every other demon, I think he is way weaker than everyone else. The ones who don't are incompetent, that's all. Loki said brusquely and left the room. Turka followed behind him. So, Turka will be one of our generals now. When Loki introduced Turka, Fina and Garm were predictably shocked. Fina in particular looked rather appalled.
ティルカよ。今さら自己紹介する必要はないと思うけど、これからは味方としてよろしく。
おう、まさか女神を味方につけるとはよ。こっちこそよろしく頼むぜ、春の姉ちゃんよ。
春の姉ちゃん？確かに戦力の増強は急務でしたが、相変わらず抜け目のない方ですね、おっちゃん。おっちゃんな
Turka looked at Loki and stifled a laugh. Wow, she's definitely not tense. Fina, I told you not to call me that in public. If introductions are out of the way, let's begin the meeting.
これは失礼しました。ロキ様。
Fina intentionally misspoke, to which Garm shrugged and Turka stared with bewilderment. Now for the main topic. While we take care of this post-war cleanup, we're at a crossroads. You all know what I mean, I hope.
これから私たちはどこに攻め込むかということですね。
Right. They managed to establish a base in Edda, but Loki's army didn't have the manpower to conquer all the other countries at once. With their numbers, one country at a time was likely their limit. But if they wanted to maintain a tactical advantage, they would have to be cautious in their decisions.
そのよう、ユグドラシルにはエッタを含め5つの国があるんだったよな。
ええ、バルハラを中心にフォルク、トルドハイム、ブラーズ、そしてこのエッタ、それぞれ私たち女神が守護しているわ。
そんで各地ではウトガルド帝国の王位後継候補者たちがしのぎを削ってるんだろ。
え、今この瞬間も戦っているはずよ。どうやらまず状況を整理した方が良さそうですね。
Right. Let's analyze each country. Loki wanted Turka's advice right about then. Taking Fina's suggestion, he interjected. First, there's folk.
フォルクは大陸で最も広大な土地を持つ農業国家よ。フレイヤ姉さんが守護しているわ。
The Autumn Goddess's golden land, eh? High population, abundant resources. Our small army would have trouble with them.
イミル様も苦戦していらっしゃるようです。ロキ様に協力を要請していましたね。
あの御人と組めりゃ心強いな。数の不利だって覆せるんじゃないか。
But unconditionally trusting his alliance would be dangerous. If we don't want Ymir to turn on us, it'll require the utmost caution. Loki's approach to his relationship with Ymir would be key in conquering folk. Of course, Freya would also be someone to watch out for.
次にトルドハイムはどうなのです。軍事国家トルドハイム。トール姉さんの守護する国ね。大陸随一の軍事力を持つと言われているわ。
聞いた話によると、インドフェンリルが進行中のようだな。
But I've also heard she hasn't accomplished much. Even for Fenrir, I suppose they're a force to contend with.
私から言わせれば、トール姉さん相手に検討しているだけ大したものと思うけど。
Much like how Thor is renowned throughout the floating continent, the Succulwolf is famous in the demon realm.
どちらも侮れない強敵ということですか。進行するとしたら苦戦は免れません。
On the other hand, as long as they're still destroying each other, now might be our best opportunity. His army's skill level left him slightly uneasy in reality. Turka's recruitment might close the gap somewhat, but the difference between the strength of their armies was, in all honestly, I think that's supposed to be honesty there, unknown in some respects. Then there's Glads. Loki pushed that aside and changed the discussion toward another country.
ユグドラシルの北の果て、雪と幻想の国グラーズ。私の妹リグレットが守護する小国よ。
I assume we can probably convince Regret quite easily if we, if we talk to her since we got Turka.
他の国と比べると大したことなさそうだな。
確かに国力で言えば小さいけど、油断は禁物よ。極寒の地には古の幻獣たちが住んでいるのだから。
And making enemies of them would be a nuisance.
他にもグラーズはラグナロクやユグドラシル黎明期の記録が眠っていると言われているわ。
The land of the Ancient Ones. Might there be clues about the heart of Yggdrasil there too?
あるかもしれないわね。
If the truth of how Yggdrasil floats came to light, they might find some sort of replacement. Turka gave them this information presumably out of such a hope.
グラーズはユルム様が攻略中です。戦況は今のところ膠着しているようですが。
Maybe depending on who we fight, it might actually be impossible with our current team. So maybe, this might be an option to attack who next, but maybe it might be locked by New Game Plus. I guess we'll see. I am planning on trying to ally with Yorm, or sorry, not Yorm, Ymir though. It's either Ymir or Yorm, really. My options, that is. Yorm might go on a rampage and destroy precious records. Ideally, that can be avoided. Glads itself would provide little tactical value. Would these records be worth the effort in invading the country? It was worth considering.
最後のバルハラね。
Noticing that the last conversation died down, Turka abruptly spoke up.
出身オーディンを治めるユグドラシルの中央大陸。今更説明は不要ですね。
Valhalla is under attack by Hell. Next to Ymir, she's considered the strongest and most renowned of the Dark Lord candidates.
激戦になるのは目に見えていますね。だけどオーディン様ならユグドラシルの心臓のことにも詳しいはずよ。ユグドラシルを浮かべたのは他ならぬオーディン様なのだから。
So attacking straight to the middle probably will give us the most value. But I don't think we can do it. Not with our current troops. That is an option.
ハイリスクハイリターンってことか。これ厳しいぜ。
個人的には現状の戦力で挑むのは無謀かと思いますが。
But we'll have to do it eventually. The question was whether it would be best to be done now or later, but Turka said that if anyone knows about the heart of Yggdrasil, it would be Odin. Does that mean Turka herself knows nothing about it? If so, then even were he to continue his interrogations, the approach would need to change. Getting Turka to fully submit and listen to any orders as his loyal slave would be ideal, but
ロキさん、それでいかがいたしましょう。
Fina's question interrupted Loki's thoughts. Fina, Turka, Garm. Loki looked over the core members of his army and opened his mouth. Each country has its positives and negatives, but if I had to say which one is the best option, then
俺はどこだろうとついていくぜ、隊長。
あなたの決定には従うわ。ここにいる以上はね。
Alright, I've decided. We'll attack. Yeah, so these is a choice. And I guess based on this choice, it might actually change a lot of how the current story will unfold. Since we are gonna be helping them, so for sure, we will be conquering any of these choices that we do. I'm really just, considering Freya or Regret. Going straight to Odin might also be good for the story, but I don't know if my current team is going to be good enough. That's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. If I were to choose based on looks, I probably would actually choose Trudheim. Because out of all the goddesses, I feel like Thor actually looks the prettiest. Do I follow my logic? Do I follow my guts? Or do I follow my instincts? Logic is folk and glads. My guts is Valhalla. My instincts is Strudheim. Let's see, let me think. Do we want the best outcome? I'm gonna follow my gut. I think we're gonna go straight to Valhalla. This might be a bad mistake because they're probably gonna be very strong.
相変わらず人の話を聞かないのですね。
But let's do it. And you never watch your words. They even give me a rethink option here. I guess this is the, you sure? You're gonna fuck up. You sure you should be fighting these guys right now? Yes. It is dangerous, yes. But I don't want hell taking Valhalla before I can.
ご決に入れずには誤字を打つというわけですね。
Yeah, and I guess depending on who takes over which areas first, it might lead to a very different outcome in the story. So chapter 1 is always going to be us fighting Turka, but this is probably a very huge turn or a huge shift in the story. I can already see myself actually doing a second playthrough, just based on how the story progresses actually. But I guess we'll see. It'll be a harsh battle. We need to be ready ourselves before it starts. Their course was set. Once they were each given their roles, everything else would fall into place. Recruiting and training troops, procuring resources and securing trade routes. Even the half-destroyed Sinmara was coming along in its repairs. They continued to discuss military matters in detail and prepared to invade. The center of the floating continent was occupied by the country of Valhalla. Differing climates divided the other 4 countries into seasons, but this holy land stood apart from the rest. It was said that only the best fighters and mythical beasts from throughout the continent lived there. Each individual was as powerful as a whole squad in another country, and there were hundreds of them. Their ability to quickly exterminate foes trumped the other armies, and the one that held them all together was the leader of the goddesses, the highest deity, Odin. She could single-handedly destroy armies of monsters, and during Ragnarok, she was the sole goddess who could stand toe-to-toe with Surt. Challenging such a titan was a fool's gambit, but Loki wasn't the first to attempt it. He was preceded by the woman widely considered the demon realm's most powerful. Oh, I don't know why that text got cut off like that. Powerful fighter after Surt, Storm Princess Hel. A mere swing of her blade struck fear into her foes, and when she brandished her shining cloth, it summoned a tempest. During her battles in the demon realm, she'd been called both a bloodthirsty fiend and a herald of death. For this invasion of the continent, she was considered the strongest contender. It was the continent's most powerful goddess versus the demon realm's most powerful commander. The fate of the floating continent depended on this war, and saying it all came down to this battle between Hel and Odin was no exaggeration.
敵真術砲撃短パンに被弾損傷率 45%。 機関部の一部から出火しているとの伝達ですわ。
Put it out quickly! Use reserve power if you have to. Just anything to stay airborne.
大将、辺り一面雷雲でまともに視界も効かねえ。本当にこのまま進むのか。
Odin and Hel are fighting right now. This is our one chance to invade Valhalla. I know it's reckless, but I'm counting on you. The goddess and demon's airborne squad clashed, leaving violent storms in their wake. On the bridge of the Sinmara, damage reports and Loki's orders flew left and right. Loki's ship entered Valhalla during a violent battle between Odin and Hel, hiding behind clouds as it flew by. Valhalla was so small a land, and Odin in possession of such overwhelming divine energy, that invading by conventional methods was like asking to lose. As such, Loki used Hel and Odin's struggle as a chance to enter. Suddenly, there was an explosion in the sky. Hel's army rained cannon fire in Valhalla's airborne units with a giant airship, only for it to be blown up in a flash of light and plummet to the ground. Was that Gungnir? No research was required on Odin's divine gear, because everyone in the modern day knew of Gungnir. Imbued with stunning amounts of divine energy, the massive spear pierced its target and blasted away everything around it, projectiles included. It moved like it had a mind of its own, faster than the speed of sound. The directable divine gear was set to inevitably stab Odin's foe in the heart once it left their hands thanks to the destructive power it boasted. You're not Cuckoo Lane. As proof, the Spear of Light almost seemed drawn toward Hel's fleet of airships, easily bursting through their armor and shooting them down. But I guess Cuckoo Lane is more like, a single target. This feels like a massive destructive power.
おいおい、話が聞いてたが、なんだありゃ。あんなの食らったら一撃で全滅だぞ。
I think the story is telling me something. I think the story is telling me we shouldn't be here. Observation team, give the divine energy readings your utmost attention. Given the power of this divine gear, we have to pick up on it as soon as possible or we'll get vaporized. While Valhalla's airborne squads and Hel's squads were doing battle, Loki's flagship slowly progressed through the clouds. Even amongst the thunderclouds and explosions, they had to proceed quietly. It was inevitably bad for the heart, and the bridge's messengers and helmsmen all had utterly grave looks as they went about their duties.
けどさすがの魔族の優勝もオーデン様相手には分が悪いよね。かなりの数の船を落とされているみたいね。
Don't be ridiculous, Turka. As if Hel would lose that easily. Watch closely. Another blast set another of Hel's battleships ablaze before it fell from the sky. But that wreckage didn't seem to have many soldiers. All that rained down was the remains of the ship.
あれは
Turka's surprise was to be expected. From within the debris of the ship appeared Hel's airborne squads. They surrounded Valhalla's troops. Judging by their speed and efficiency, Hel must have seen this coming from the start. She knew Gungnir could take down her ships, so she only had airborne units aboard, and had them escape just before being shot down so they could ambush the enemy. I see. It was a daring but logical tactic. That was to be expected from one of the Demon Realm's most seasoned commanders and her airborne troops. Even against Odin's army, they stood on even ground.
大型戦艦を丸ごとおとりにするなんて財政事情の苦しいムスペル兵向けには無理な作戦ですね。
Don't say that, Fina. It just makes me feel hopeless. But Hel should have enough experience to avoid this kind of waste. Odin is just that powerful, I suppose. As far as Loki knew, Hel always fought with intimidating strength. Her despair-inducing resources and overpowering numbers trounced her enemies. For Hel to acknowledge her opponent as an equal with her strategies, Odin's power must have been nothing to scoff at. Anyway, this chaotic battle is our best opportunity. Full speed ahead! This was Hel's flagship in the middle of her fight with Odin. Hel was standing on the bridge and commanding her troops when suddenly, she turned her gaze to the clouds outside.
どういたしました、エル様。
どうやら私の戦場に武帝が紛れ込んだようだ。まあ、オーディンと私の戦いを利用するあたりはあいつなりに考えているんだろうな。
Hel's confidant stared in the same direction she did, but his eyes couldn't spot the ship. Only Hel's eagle eyes made it possible.
いかがなさいますか。
左翼を前線に押し出してそれとなく道を開けてやれ。
よろしいのだ。
あんな出来の悪い弟でも敵の足元に取り付けばそれなりにかき回してくれるさ。
よい。
See, here's what I'm wondering though. I wonder if this will always happen. Like, you know, even after we, like, say, go to Regret and get her and Yorm to join our party, will we still get the same cutscene when, you know, like Odin and Hel are still fighting? Or will we actually join up with Hel if we were too late? And we would have to fight Odin along on this fight. I don't know. I guess this is something that I'll have to see on a next playthrough. But I'm already thinking like so far into the future. It's crazy. I like it.
成り行きとはいえあのロキを利用することになるとはな。ここまで手こずらせる相手は魔界でもお目にかかれなかったぞ。
おい大将、なんだか道を開けてくれてるみたいだぜ。
親切心とは到底思いませんが。
We're using each other, okay? She's fighting an unprecedentedly, oh my god, it's so hard. Powerful opponent after all. I'm sure she'd want all the help she can get. But at the same time, it meant she didn't see Loki as an obstacle. Then we may as well take her offer. Set every remaining engine to full power. There's no use hiding in the clouds anymore. Full speed toward land. I was gonna say full speed ahead. It was plain to see that as they approached the ground, the bridge crew's hearts raced. They were tense enough flying through the explosions, and this was even worse. The sense of danger was akin to running at full speed past a starving beast. The passengers' minds were filled with images of Hel's obliterated ships. If they were found, they died. If they were hit, they died. It felt like they were on thin ice, but all they could do was pray they landed safely. However,
3時の方向から高心力反応ぐんぐんいるですわ。
she won't even let this tiny ship pass by? You've got surprisingly sharp eyes, Odin. Outside the temple where Odin dwelled, a petite figure looked up at the sky and chuckled.
わらわの聖域にこうも立て続けに侵入してくる愚か者がいるとはな。
Or maybe I'm gonna go get a game over right here. I guess we'll see. Odin stood next to a giant spear. When she moved her fingertips, it responded by hovering in the air.
今日は少し打ちすぎじゃが。まあよい。わらわからのたぬきの花じゃ。美しく散れハムシ。
The immense rush of divine energy produced ferocious amounts of heat, a manifestation of her bloodlust that set its sight on its enemies. Its appearance was the very embodiment of divinity. The shining spear looked like it could pierce through anything in the world, and it was headed toward the Sinmara. Don't panic! What do you think we're packing the fewest resources possible to light up this ship for? Fire the main cannon to keep it at bay, and fire all our divine energy disrupting rounds at the same time. After that, dodge to the right flank. Loki shouted orders at his dismayed squad. The divine energy disrupting bullets were prepared by Loki in advance to defend against Gungnir. They burst after a set amount of time and scattered tons of extremely thin, dark energy charged scrap metal pieces across the sky. As that energy directly conflicted with the divine gears, it would be forced to change its route. If you can't block, then dodge. That was Loki's plan for dealing with Gungnir, and if all went well, they could escape unharmed. Except, life wasn't so convenient. Preventing a direct hit was good enough.
またこのパターンですか。もう少し穏やかに侵入したいものですね。
The Chief God and Storm Princess are doing battle here. If there's another way we could have invaded, I'd like to hear it. With their biggest threat taken care of, Loki and Fina relaxed a bit. However,
のんきな会話してる場合じゃねえぞ、二人とも。すぐにもう一発来るみたいだぞ。
what? They were already out of divine energy disrupting rounds. If that supremely powerful divine gear were launched at them again, the Sinmara wasn't mobile enough to avoid it. Tch! Only one thing to do. There was no time to waste. Loki picked up Anvara and dashed up to the deck.
ちょっと待ってロキ。まさかあなた一人でオーディン様の槍を何とかするつもり？
Yes. Yes, I am. I'll take care of Gungnir. You take command here.
ロキさん、示談来ます。
The speaking tube on the deck delivered Fina's calm report. Loki stared straight ahead and saw the spear of light blazing straight for the ship. After crashing into so many ships, it wasn't flying as fast as when it hit Hells. But that's still more than enough force to take down this ship. Loki held up Anvara and focused on the spear of light before him. The spear approached. The ship switched directions, changing Spear's destination to be the deck. Loki planned to throw the spear off its path. A simple enough idea, but with a divine gear like Gungnir, the challenge of such a feat was tangible. But I just have to do it! Let's go! Anvara! Loki filled his spear with all the dark energy it could hold and unleashed the mighty thrust at Gungnir. Ugh! The impact on his hands almost made him let go on Anvara several times. He furiously resisted, but Gungnir only barely slowed down, showing no sign of changing direction. It was like a jackhammer. Loki exerted all his power to create a dark energy barrier, but Gungnir was chipping more away every second. Its overwhelming power made Loki grimace. Maybe I do need to borrow Vet's power for this. Loki considered whether to use his trump card. What's this? Centered around Loki, there was a giant gust of wind. Generated from dark energy, it traveled from Loki's arms through Anvara and stripped away the divine energy armor around Gungnir. This will work! Feeling twice as strong as before, Loki ran the spear forward. I guess we absorbed some of Turka's energy. With its divine energy lost, Gungnir was broken in half and swallowed up by the sky. Really? We destroyed it? Oh, it's hell, okay. It did say dark energy instead of, you know, light energy, I suppose. I wasn't expecting your help, Hell. And you even used your dark gear. What convinced you?
せっかくまいた餌にあっけなく死なれては困ると思っただけだ。大はない。
When Loki calmed his breathing and addressed Hel, she came flying down from the sky, spreading her bony wings as she landed on the deck. Free of any needless fat, her supple body was trained to peak condition. Her long, flowing hair wasn't so much sultry as it was majestic. You know, technically speaking, she probably does have a very good figure, but I do think her boobs are still too big. But her figure is very nice. She was next in line after the Dark Lord, Hel, the Storm Princess. It's been a while, Hel. For securing a route and providing backup for us, you have my sincere appreciation. If not for you, I imagine I'd be dead twice over.
全くもってその通りだな。どうする？今の一撃でおじけづき、このまま逃げ帰るというのであれば、特別に見逃してやるぞ。
You must be joking. Promise to cooperate. Don't play into Hel's plans. I think we do have to cooperate though. I think if we don't cooperate with Hel, we are just gonna die. She needs to be the one acting decoy to draw out Odin. There's no way we can do this otherwise. We can stab her in the back after, but we need to cooperate. No. After you went out of your way to assist me, I'd hate for that to go to waste. If the chief god is giving you a little trouble, maybe even a layabout like me could at least shake things up a little.
相変わらず小賢しいやつだな。だがその通りだ。あのオーディンの力は途方もない。それは確かだ。
Hel nodded in agreement. She didn't seem enthusiastic, but for her to admit to an enemy's strength was unheard of as it was. In that case, maybe they could cooperate, or so Loki faintly hoped.
だがそれがお前と手を組む理由にはならない。お前はせいぜい派手に動いてオーディンの目を引きつけていろ。
Shit. I guess, we can't do this choice. Maybe because we don't have enough firepower or something. That's interesting. Hel promptly rejected any alliance with Loki. I guess that's fine. She trusted only herself and her subordinates. The idea of seeking assistance from another, especially Loki, was out of the question. Understood. Then good luck to you. Hel brushed off Loki's encouragement and turned to leave the deck.
明星は常に輝く。
Hel, what in the world does that mean?
よもや正面からオーディンと戦おうなどという愚かな考えはないと思うが。もし戦うつもりなら今の言葉を覚えておく。
The stars do not always shine. So I guess there must be like a specific turn where Odin is actually weak or something, and that's when we actually strike her. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think that's what she means. I mean, I'm trying to, like, basically unravel a riddle or some sort here.
分かっていると思うが再度言っておくぞ。お前が私の軍の妨げになると感じたならば容赦なく滅ぼす。それだけは覚悟しておけ。
I guess I should also take a look at who I'm fighting on during the battlefield. In case I see Hel's troops, I better stay very away from that specific area. With that, Hel spread her wings and flew away. At any rate, I should just be glad that ended without any real conflict, I suppose. Taking on Odin and Hel at the same time is one thing I want to avoid. What, Turka? Is everything all right on the bridge?
そっちは大丈夫。じきに着陸態勢に入るみたいよ。それよりもさっきの明星は常に輝かないって言葉、あなたたち兄弟での暗号か何か？
No. I assume it has something to do with Odin's abilities. Hel's been fighting her long enough that she could have noticed something.
暗号とはいえ、わざわざ教えてくれるなんて意外といいお姉さんじゃない？
Turka's airheaded comment so repulsed Loki that he flicked her cheek hard. She's not that kind. I'm guessing she's setting me up to fight Odin. Hel has always been meticulous.
つまりお互い利用し合っているってわけね。あなたたちもうちょっと仲良くできないの？
Not possible. If it were, I could have invaded this place more easily. Loki's reply made Turka sigh. But I do wonder about something.
何が？
Well, Hel used her dark gear to help me out there, but something about its dark energy felt odd. I hear her dark gear has the power to control the weather, so I understand she used it to manipulate the wind. But that energy felt like it came from more than one source or something. Maybe one of her subordinates uses a powerful magic tool to support her. Or maybe... might be you also absorbed Turka's power like I said before. Loki thought about the anomaly he felt for some time, but his thoughts were interrupted when Fina's voice came through the speaking tube.
そろそろ地面に不時着いたします。お二人ともブリッジにご帰還ください。
Well, now's not the time to stand around and think, I guess. Turka, let's go back to the bridge. Alright, we made it in one piece.
これで無事にって言える大将の神経がどうかしてるぜ。
Our limbs are intact, and the ship can be repaired. That's good enough. Anyway, we need to devise a plan right away. Helen Odin's sky battle by itself was far beyond what conventional tactics could handle. They had to be fully prepared if they didn't want to be crushed. Loki successfully arrived on stage. That only left... How do we take down those monstrosities? It was like asking how to fish up a sea of monster with a fishing rod. Loki couldn't help but bitterly grin. Tempestuous Holy Land. Yeah, I'm guessing each chapter is gonna be very different depending on which area you... Ah! Ah! Look at their firepower! Ah! Guys? Guys? I don't think this is such a good idea. What the hell? What? You gotta be joking. I can't even attack that area just yet because I still need to attack this area. Oh my god. No, technically this is actually their area, so yes. This area is actually quite easy, 1320. But look at everywhere else. Holy shit. There must be something that we can do here. Right? There must be something we can do here. Story-wise, right? It looks like our resources carry over, so... Maybe one of the few plans that we can actually try to do in each chapter is to try to prolong as much as possible and grind some EXP or something. Even though you do get E rank in that specific chapter. Oh shit. The turns carry over though. Oh shit. This actually does make me think that if you attack past a certain point or past a certain turn, something might actually go very wrong. Oh no. Damn. This does not look very good though. I'll do one turn and try to attack this area, but I think after that, this is gonna be something future Azai has a headache with. Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord, I don't even want to see like what their attacking team is gonna be. Jesus Christ. Can we hire new units? That is my absolute question right now. What units can we hire? Can we hire like soldiers and shit? Don't think so. Could it be that hiring like specific soldiers is turn-based? I'm kind of thinking that at the moment, but I don't know. Yeah, we don't have any new units or any new like units we can make. We got one commander, which is Turka. I feel like she can probably be put into our back line or something. She might need equipment though. Added attack, flank attack, evade parry. Equitable heal. I could probably put her into the front or into the back line for the heal. She uses bread for some reason. That's actually really nice. So I'm gonna put her in the back here simply because this is gonna give her parry and evade. Yeah, Loki also has parry. These guys aren't gonna go in the front. Yeah, these guys are gonna go in the front. Okay, my frontline attacker is actually pretty decent. It's at 2,000, but that's still nowhere near enough to actually be able to withstand what they have over there. Nuts, I tell you. Holy bejeebers. Let me put these guys on like a separate place. Okay, you're gonna go in the front. Range attack, so you're good in the back. Flank attack, parry. I guess you're gonna be on the front too, my friend. You're gonna be in the back. I guess you're gonna be our defender. I need one more unit though. Is there any unit I can make that has a happy face? No happy face? Anyone? Happy face? No? Of course, the happy face that I want to make is actually someone I can't make. Okay, you're kind of happy. Anyone else, though? These guys are happy, but fuck, I can't make them. I hate that. Do I have to, like... I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do to get that. Alright, what are you? You're a mage, so you're a backliner. I'm probably gonna use, like, rare medallions. What is this? Forge disabled. Rarity 1. Medallion material. Oh, okay, so I need this to actually make the material for the medallion. Not just resources, but I need this too, I assume. I'm gonna go ahead and make this for you. And then what else? Yeah, probably this. Man, I spent so much for this, like, generic guy. I hope you become really strong, my friend. Range attack, dragon scales. So dragon scales is actually what the Dullahan has. That's interesting. I should pay that very close attention. So I probably want that on my defense unit. So that's this one, the Dragon Life. Okay. Critical boost. I'll take Dragon Skills, I guess. Lightning DD. Self-destruct? No. We don't want that. I'm guessing self-destruct means that if they were to die in battle, they would actually take... like, you know, they also damage the enemy, is what I assume. I guess we'll see. But welcome to the team. Let me take a look at our list of names, shall we? I think last time I made VH10. Alright, Black Ball Bouncer. Welcome to the team, my friend. Boom. You are gonna be a Matango. Suicidal Dragon Life, Matango. I wasted a lot of resources on you, man. You better be good. There you go. You're not gonna be good at the front or in that area there. I'll put you in the back line. Okay. And I'm not gonna heal you. 62 Mingle, Affection 1, Divinity 100%, Train. What does this do? By turning on buttons indicating your attitude to our characters, the points will increase at the end of each turn. Choose how to interact with each heroine. I can do everything though. That's the thing. That's the weird thing. I can actually choose everything. Which is, I feel like that's weird. I thought I could only do one thing at a time, but no. I assume if we train her, she's gonna go dark at some point, and her divinity is gonna go lower and lower. Which, of course, is what I'm planning on doing since I want an evil playthrough. Alright. Let's go attack this and see if we are gonna get a story scene or not. Let's go. Let's destroy these guys. What the? That's a single unit? Okay, I did not expect that would be a single unit. We are not doing very good. Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh my god, that dragon scales is OP. Bro! Those dragon scale is OP! Retreat, you fools! We need magic against this guy. We need magic! Retreat! Oh my god. That is just a single unit? You gotta be fucking joking. Loki stared at the key and recalled the sensations of using it. From within him swelled indescribable excitement and impulses. Years-old shackles broke and gave him freedom. The overflowing energy granted unshakable confidence and transformed Loki into someone else. He overpowered Turka in that battle. Just remembering it made his heart tremble. Loki wished to one day achieve such greatness and become truly strong. He wouldn't have to rely on tricks if he had that power. He could conquer everything. Vedrung. Heh. You rang, brother? It's so weird actually, talking to myself like this. Yor! The voice in his head made Loki stand up. But when he looked around, of course, there was nobody to be seen. Vedrung was Loki's inner potential, which meant he dwelled in the depths of Loki's mind. Have you been watching me this whole time? You can't seriously be that surprised. You're me. I'm you. Get it? I see. So I don't have to use the key to talk to you then. Not now that we're connected now. If I want to actually materialize in the world, you gotta use the key though. And my personality is still the dominant one. Not only that, but switching places seems to have a strict time limit. This is a powerful but difficult ability to use. Heh. My other self's got brains apparently. Saves me the trouble of explaining shit. Thanks. Huh. He had a plainly crude way of speaking. Knowing his slumbering potential amounted to this wasn't especially pleasing, but he's worth using. That much is certain. I'll just have to put up with it, I suppose. Hey Loki, just so you know, I can hear all your thoughts. Damn, you're a real piece of work. That goes for both of us. Unwilling to engage him further, Loki brushed off Vedrung's insults. Arguments with himself in his own head would be the pinnacle of futility. Loki sighed and looked down at the key on his palm again.
あら、ルキ様、一人ですか？話し声が聞こえたので、誰かと一緒かと思ったのですが。
Fina. Loki's second in command opened the door and showed her face. He would have to be wary of observers too, apparently. Talking to himself would inevitably draw suspicion.
その鍵、シンボラ様より託されたものですね。ロキ様は戦場でその鍵の力によってキルカ様を退けられたと聞きましたが。
True, I guess you didn't see it, huh? Yes, come to think of it, I haven't quite explained that yet. Perfect timing. I'm sorting out our info, but I can talk to you while I'm at it. But he only knew so much about it himself. In his daydream, he saw it. The key entrusted to him by his mother was used by inserting it in his own heart. And that materialized Vedrung, another version of Loki who far exceeded the current one in his combat mastery. Anvara awakened the dark gear called Varanard as well. He could be called Loki's ideal image of a warrior brought to life. Those were all the currently confirmed facts. Loki listed them off for Fina.
つまり鍵で変身するロキ様ベズルング様はロキ様の潜在能力を引き出した状態ということでしょうか
No, not that. Ved is someone I could be. Someone I theoretically could have become, or could become in the future. Specifically, he's the Dark Lord. Vedrang's words made his heart race. Unable to hear the voice, Fina looked perplexed. The Dark Lord. Heh. If I did want to truly become the Dark Lord, I'd probably seek such power, yes.
ロキ様もしかしてそのベズルング様とお話しされているのですか
Yes, in my head. Unfortunately, it's impossible for me not to listen.
道理で様子がおかしいと思いました
Fina slightly relaxed and smiled. Heh, I've been found out already. At least it was Fina, eh, brother? It's so weird calling it like, speaking to myself like this. What are you laughing about? I don't mind letting you stay inside me, but if you make too much noise, I have other ideas. Hey now, I saved your ass, you arrogant prick. Anyway, let's switch places again. For what purpose? Is this an H scene? Ain't it obvious? So I can make Fina moan with my... Not on your life! Fina's mine!
ロキ様何を大声で叫んでらっしゃるんですか
Next thing he knew, Fina was glowering. You know, you could probably not have to shout that out, Loki. In his head, Vet laughed. Loki realized he had been had to his disbelief.
もう一人のご自分とどのような脳内会議を繰り広げていたか非常に興味がありますね坊ちゃま
But that was Vedrang's fault!
まあどっちにしろ坊ちゃまは坊ちゃまということですかある意味安心しました
Ugh. Vedrang's actions being treated as his own was extremely undesirable. But no matter how he argued, Fina likely wouldn't have any of it. Vedrang could always feign innocence, much to Loki's dismay. He butted in where he wasn't needed.
では私は失礼させていただきます気候には十分ご注意くださいませね坊ちゃま
Right. Fina's composed stare hit him with a sense of failure. After she left, Loki let loose a hearty sigh. Yo, I'm not asking for much. Just switch with me sometimes. If you let me fuck some hot chicks, I can't complain. In exchange, I ask that on most occasions you'll remain dead silent, Vedrang. Just Vet's fine, brother. Vedrang's a mouthful. Loki listened to his shameless partner and bitterly nodded. But you know, when the time comes, you're gonna have a choice to make. Hmm? You're still pretty wimpy. A spring chicken if you ask me. You don't want anything like that fight with Turka to happen again, yeah? Then you need to get stronger. I'm aware of that. Are you though? Power's a greedy thing. If you want some, there's a big price you'll have to pay. That's just the way it goes. Aren't you gonna be the Dark Lord? No matter what happens, you'll need to keep pursuing power. Are you prepared for that? It could mean sacrificing that which you hold most dear. There's a lot of choices in this game, man. I'm prepared for anything. To save my mother and become the Dark Lord, I risked my life to come this far. I'll do whatever it takes. Heh. Nice, brother. That's the spirit. I'll be going for now. See you later, brother. Vedrang, my internal potential. I'm gonna have to take a look at this headache again, aren't I? The Key of Destiny has been added to your inventory. And I can call someone. The Little Tyrant. So let me take a look. I can give that to Loki, I guess? I mean, it's in my inventory, but what does it actually do? And why is one of the materials here not sold? After taking a look at this, I'll probably end the episode right there, but let me take a look. Also, if it looks like on the next episode of this game, I can't win against, you know, against like the very first fight, I'll probably have to reconsider what I do. Yeah, I'll probably take over Regret, not gonna lie. I assume one of the ways this game locks you out like that is because of that. Because you're not gonna be able to be strong enough to fight some of these fights, right? Because on the New Game Plus, you can take your stats easily. And you can probably win quite easily too, I mean. I assume the dark thing there, the thing that looks like an arrow, means it's occupied by Ymir. Yeah, I think so. A Vesta snowfield, and yeah, I guess those different flags mean that it's actually occupied by the Demon Lord, or sorry, the Demon Army, right? But okay, I think this is actually where we're gonna end it though. Man, I need to find a way to beat up this guy. This guy is way too difficult. Dragon scales 100. Hardy physique, lightning field, ceiling attack, helmet split, all attack. Level 41? There's no way I'm beating this guy. Does thou possess unwavering courage? One of the holy beasts who lord over the corners of the world. This courageous dragon protects the east, controls fearsome lightning. There's no fucking way. Yeah, I think I gotta reload and probably go attack Regret. But that is going to be future Azai's, you know, headache. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Give this video a like if you guys like it. Sub if you guys haven't. Patreon will be getting these episodes early access along with everything uncensored. But yeah, I gotta keep reminding people that Patreon also have free members now. And if you guys want to see the first episode of new playthroughs, that's gonna be where you guys will see it as a free member. So I will see you guys on the next one. I'll be playing this again next week, and I will for sure have to reload. See you guys.